Welcome to 6 Overland. I'm Grant, and today I'm going to talk to you about some of the changes we've made to our Lexus GX550 Overtrail Plus. Stick with us. Welcome to 6 Overland. I'm Grant, and the last time we spoke, we did an upgrade to the Lexus GX550 where we switched out the suspension system for an Icon Stage 10 research and development system, which if you're watching this episode right whenever it's being released, that is very, very, very close to being released. But just stick with them for a little while. And if you see this in about 6 months, it's probably already on the market. So, but we've done a few changes to it, and a few changes to our Overland setup in general. But today we're going to focus on the Lexus. We're going to focus on the armor and bumpers that we just had done up at Dissent Offroad. Dissent is a company up in Northern California. Everything they make is in-house. That's the cutting, that's the welding, that's the powder coating. Everything is made right there in their shop. So if you're concerned about American made, they are, every bit of it. So quality stuff, I'm telling you. I was blown away at their organization in their shop, how they put everything through, and we're going to highlight that right now. So let's start on the front. All right, so this is the front bumper for the Lexus GX550 from Dissent Offroad. One of the first things that attracted us to this is the fact that they followed all the body lines. This new modern style, they really did a great job of capturing lines and making this bumper look like it fit for this vehicle. We're going to start here in the center. Now we've got the license plate bracket, which I know not everybody needs, but for us, we need this in California. We did the flip up, and then underneath we've got a come up winch. We went with the 12.5. We wanted a little bit of extra pulling power because we are going to have a trailer behind us. And if we need to use a couple pulleys to kind of change the power to be able to get us out of a sticky situation, we wanted to have as much juice as possible back here, so we went with the 12.5. So we got plenty of power there. The easy to see thing is the fact that we've gained a lot of clearance here. They have allowed this bumper to fit new fog lights here. We went with rigid fogs. These are DOT fogs, so you can run these all the time as fogs. In the center here, we have a high beam. This is a DOT high beam, so, you know, again, this can function as a high beam when you're on the road, but obviously you don't want to flash anybody, so you'll turn that off. But beyond that, and the extra clearance you get by chopping this bumper, there are these holes and channels right here that are built to direct air into the intercoolers on either side, because since this is a twin turbo, you want to make sure those intercoolers are getting plenty of air, and this actually probably provides more air than the factory bumper into those intercoolers. So, you know, that is one thing that they did in their design process that you probably wouldn't even think about, and you may not even notice. But yeah, so these channels here, really nice. Of course, this goes down and fits right toward the factory skid plate. Whether we replace that factory skid plate or not, at least it's all, like the lines all line up. Really impressed with the way this bumper fits. And of course, you really only have to do some minor trimming here to do it. And then of course you get this rubber piece so that when you're flexing, it allows it to kind of move with the body. So this will be a little bit out of place there, but it fits just right. So yeah, so that's the front bumper. It's three-piece, so it's modular. You have your left, your center, and your right, and they bolt together. And you know, just a really neat system for the Lexus GX550. Okay, so from here, we're gonna move to the sides and talk about the next part that we added. All right, so the next item on our list are these heavy-duty rock sliders from Dissent Offroad. These things are good solid steel. Again, all American made right there in their shop, the powder coating and everything. And this has 4 different mounting locations to the vehicle, so you don't have to worry about there just being a couple and it being a little iffy. Like, these are really solid. The one thing about Dissent Offroad that you've got to understand is these guys live and work really close to the Rubicon Trail. So when they test this stuff, they test it there on the Rubicon Trail. So the hardest rock crawling trail in the, well, maybe not the hardest, but one of the hardest in the country. And they test this equipment out, obviously come back to the shop, take things that they've learned and do little redesigns and whatever it takes to come out with the best product for Toyotas, Lexus, that sort of thing. And this is just one more example. On the top, this piece is kind of like, it's almost like a grip tape, but it's not. Not sure exactly what that's made out of, but it's grippy. So you're not gonna lose your footing there. That's really nice. And it's solid on top. So if you've got a dog or something that needs to get in and out, you're not gonna have to worry about them getting their toenails stuck in something. It's completely solid on the top. And of course, you've got their nice little logo on this side, but really impressed with these. Now, the next piece of the puzzle for this whole Dissent Offroad system is the roof rack. Now, a lot of different manufacturers are making roof racks for the LC250 and the Lexus GX550. But we really like the way this Dissent Offroad rack looks. Most of them are just straight right here, right? So this, they have an angle already to begin with and then another angle before it goes to the top. And we just really like the way that that looked on this platform. Again, it's another way of kind of making a form-fitting rack that looks like it belongs on this vehicle. So we went with that. On the front, we went with the Ridge light that's got amber backlights to it, so we could run those all the time. This is just a single bar, but this provides tons of light, so we're really impressed with that. Of course, you got your side lights. I don't know, some people call them scene lights. I think they have a different name for these, but these are also an amber outline, so we can use those. But then even the way they installed this, they've got this nice little channel that runs along here for the wiring that makes everything really form-fitting. And right as we were leaving their shop, we saw them putting together their new raised air intake for the Lexus GX550. It's a dual system that goes right here along the side and fits into this box here before obviously going to the air box in the front. But just really well thought out designs. Super impressed with it. And yeah, so I think we're going to put some fuel canisters up here. That is one thing about the GX550 we're a little disappointed on, is that it drinks quite a bit of fuel. It has a little bit undersized fuel tank. So since we are in California and you can't go with a larger tank because of, well, that's a long story, but yeah, having the ability to put some extra fuel canisters up top, or kayaks or bicycles or whatever you want up here. Obviously this will hold a rooftop tent, no problem at all. Really solid production here. I'll have to show with the camera, but you know, there's even the channels where you can put in, you know, whatever you're storing, slide it to where you want it before you tighten it down. So it's all kind of built into this system, kind of the same as on the sides here. If you wanted to put a, I know they make a bracket for an awning or anything else that you wanted to attach to it. But yeah, one more of those things that we got, and I think they just killed it with this design. So let's head to the back, and we'll probably have to disconnect and pull it out a little bit, but I'll show you the rear bumper and the accessories on there. So before I pull away from the trailer and disconnect and everything, I just wanted to show you something here for anybody interested in their rear bumper and whether it's their tire, you know, MaxTrax carrier or whatever. They've got a bunch of different accessory options for their swing outs. But I just want to show you that if you've got a trailer hooked up, it is no problem clearing the trailer with this setup. The tow hitch is down below, and this clears every bit of it. So you don't have to worry about that if you go with this system, because it's designed to be above the level of your trailer. You know, you'll have to check each trailer, might be slightly different, but the setup we're running, no problem at all. All right, let me disconnect this, move up, and we'll talk about this bumper and setup. Last but certainly not least is the rear bumper for the GX550 from Dissent Offroad. The bumper itself can be purchased alone or with tire carrier. You can choose whether you want the tire carrier on the left or the right. You can choose whether you want just a MaxTrax holder, a ladder. There's different options. You don't have to put anything on there if you don't want to, if you want to keep the tire up underneath. But this does allow you to run a bigger tire underneath the GX550. A 34-inch tire is the largest that's going to fit there. So this allows you to go bigger if you'd like to. But yeah, so let's open this thing up and take a look. First off, it's hard to kind of see there, and I'll try to get a closer shot, but when you go to open these, you just kind of have to give it a little push. The pressure on these is always outward, and the way this little latch here works is you don't even have to have the spring from the handle, and it's always causing outward tension, and we're really impressed. These things are solid. I mean, we've taken them on some roads and a couple trails, and there is nothing moving these things. They're like they're part of the vehicle. Really impressed with that in particular. We did a camera relocation kit. The camera was here, and of course with all the stuff in the way, it blocks it. So you do move the rear camera down here, which gives you kind of a better view for backing up a trailer into it, or backing up into a trailer to pick it up. It does make one of the views on the GX550 a little wonky because of changing the angle of it, but you know, that's a really minor thing to get over. Otherwise, you just lose your camera at the rear altogether. And if you go to back up, it's gonna think there's something behind you because it's all the time seeing your tire. But yeah, so sensors get relocated as well. So you've got those. You've got backup and reverse and brake lights all integrated into the bumper on either side, and you can either go with this kind of tinted cover to them or just leave them open as is. So there's a few different features there that you can choose from. We went with not only the MaxTrax holder, I think they've got a name for this. It might be like a storage locker or something, but we like to call it the crap coffin. That's where we're gonna put all our off-road recovery crap. So you open this up, and yes, there's all sorts of mounting locations and things in here for you to mount your recovery gear, whether it's recovery straps or a tree strap or whatever. I know that they kind of designed this for, ARB makes like a high lift jack that's a hydraulic thing that's kind of hard to find a mounting location. A lot of people just toss them in the back of their vehicle. Well, this allows you to put it in here, mount it, and when you go to close this, you can lock it. So there's a key to it, so you don't have to worry about anybody getting into your recovery gear back here. Keeps it out of the vehicle, out of the way, but easily accessible when you need it. When you look at the back here, you've got this spring system for the latch itself, but then there's also this rubber piece here, and this is kind of where all the magic happens. So when you close this, it puts pressure pushing outward, and it allows this latch to stay in place no matter what kind of conditions you're in. So just a really well thought out system. With the tire carrier, you've got some adjustment in here. You can adjust the tire at an angle if you'd like. The other nice feature about this, especially for those that are overlanding in a rig where you're going to have your kitchen and everything else in the back of your vehicle, is you've got a built-in table. And with this, just pull it up, bring it out, and there you go. You got a nice table to be able to set your gear. So whether that's a cooking, stovetop or whatever it might be, it's nice having this extra surface. Now, when you do switch out this bumper, the one thing you have to keep in mind is that you've got to disconnect. If you've got a kick sensor that opens the rear tailgate, that has to get taken off and disabled, because otherwise, when these things are closed, you run the risk of accidentally kicking and having the thing come up into all of this metal back here, which wouldn't be good for your tailgate. But if you understand that and are willing to give that up, this bumper makes a lot of sense. It's higher clearance. You've got, you still retain your tow hitch, and of course relocate your factory sensors and your factory camera. So it just makes a lot of sense, especially if you're wanting more clearance coming off of obstacles at the tires. It does make your exhaust, especially when you relocate the tire, it makes your exhaust the lowest hanging fruit underneath. And so that might be the next upgrade. Don't know yet, but it is really noticeable now that we've done all these upgrades. But let me close this up. I'll show you how this latch works here, and we'll go from there. Now you notice with this latch, this here connects to the latch, goes in, that rubber then pushes it back. So you gain some ground clearance here. Now, because of relocating the tire, your exhaust and muffler here is probably going to be the lowest part of the vehicle, so you have to be aware of that. One nice thing, just one more little touch that Dissent Offroad does is right here for your recovery points, these are like rounded. So if you're using soft shackles, which I think everybody should be, this round is going to prevent some fraying and cutting of those soft shackles right there. You get to retain your hitch point. So this is factory, along with the factory bracket behind here that holds that all in place, part of the frame, the cross member. So yeah, this, just super impressed with it. We did, obviously you're doing a license plate relocation and a light relocation for that as well. And this is kind of cool because it kind of illuminates under the ground too. So one final thing, when we did the shoot on the Icon suspension kit and took it on the Cleghorn Trail, we got a little bit of pinstriping on it, and Mrs. Six was not happy about it. So we called up Beyond Wraps in Santa Ana, California, who got us this satin PPF that we put on here, and couldn't be happier with it. This satin PPF on this Atomic Silver GX550 just kind of gives it that distinctive look that we were looking for. So anyway, thanks to Dissent Offroad, to Icon Vehicle Dynamics, to Beyond Wraps, and of course some great components on here with rigid lighting, come up winches, Agency 6 for their handles and recovery points, things like that. So anyway, thanks for watching, appreciate it. If you liked this video, you may like this one up here, and so catch us next time where we'll be talking about that trailer right there. And I may be wearing the same clothes because I may film that in like a minute. So anyway, thanks again.